What is up, you beautiful people, and welcome back to the, is it Equality Raid Boss or the Raid Boss Equality? The Raid Boss Equality, bro. We're playing some Stukov today. Let's get right to it, boys. We're joined by Inflames, who's playing some Vorazun, and we got Sergeant Sprinkles playing some Kerrigan. Honestly, this week seems like a big Zerg week right now. Maybe because the Zerg just like the mass. Anyways, raw modifiers with Equality removes any sort of tags on things. So these things normally have armored, structure, biological, gone. So any units that interact with that also are unable to do so now, which is good and or bad. Hallowed ground here. There we go. Hallowed ground here just gives us some buffs. And yes, this is our new tier list commander. Voted for by the Discord. Thank you, Inflames, for setting this up. Honestly, this is great. Keeps it fresh, you know. We also have RAIDBOSS, which lets us drop a large infested Thor onto our side of the battlefield. As many as you want. I mean, not as many as you want. Like, you get 4 every minute. So, you know, as the game goes on longer, you get more. I don't think I'm gonna go for Alexander. Actually, I'm gonna go for Apox. Yeah. Oh my God, Reapers. Very interesting choice. I mean, they don't have fly yet. I mean, I guess they don't suffer any damage loss, because they're not like a specialized damage unit. But also Kerrigan's healing. Oh my God, there's Banshees. Okay, who's got Banshees already? Okay. Going Apox, I think. I think I'm going Apox. Oh, it's the guy I'm against. He's got Dust Wings already. Well, Apox will be quick to get out. I'm gonna actually get another gas. This is actually kind of crazy that I'm getting another gas, but don't worry. Shh. Alexander needs to come later, I think. And we're gonna babysit this Apoc. Probably put him in the central aura, which gives him healing and extra armor. And the extra rockets will be able to destroy like 5 Banshees, probably. I think it does 800 damage flat. Or it might do 50 damage and 100 damage to armored, which is bad because there's no armored units. I don't remember. We're about to find out. Cooldown reduction, though, should be helpful. Kerrigan dashing in and out here. Still nothing. I think Stukov could be pretty strong with just like the Marine Corps. Wait, Infested Marines got cheaper by 2? It's pretty good, I guess. More Marine dreams. But yeah, oh my God. Should I even bother scanning for this? I don't know. I think I definitely need to have an Overseer as well out on the field, I guess. Maybe I could just put down an Overseer. I don't know. They already know I'm Stukov, I think. With all the missile turns and stuff. Ooh, that stock is getting bodied there. Inflames is currently taking the brunt of it. Oof. But I think we should be okay. Got that. We got that infest structure here. That should be able to help us out. I don't think I'll be able to get an APOC out this wave either, which is actually just horrendous. 3 minutes of nothing. Kind of bad, actually. A lot of Reapers. Hound Horner can do like a big meme swap, actually, which could be pretty terrifying. Alright, finally, after 3 minutes, it's an APOC. There we go. Oh, Contaminate doesn't work on these things because they're not structures anymore. I'm actually super sad. Okay. Let's see. No, these things just do 100 damage. They just do flat 100 damage to something. That's my Overseer. He's giving us that good middle income. Thank goodness for that. Micro the Bro Charge. I'm just micro the Bro Charge off of one of these guys for now. I don't even know if I want to upgrade the armor all the way. There are quite a bit of Marines here, so it could be concerning. I mean, our opponents have just been going whole hog, not even recognize. You got a Ghost, boys. You got a Ghost. Ghosts only snipe biological units. You know what? There are none of biological units this week. There are no biological units. Please. Lamo. It's a big Lamo moment. Alright, here we go. Apox coming in. Go and get him, boy. 100 damage each. That's not going to kill all of them, but it is a pretty nice cooldown. Only in synergy. There we go. Alright, Apoc. Barrel through that cannon. Ah. I need a second one. I think once I have more than one, I'll be fine. There we go. Ooh, get that black hole. It's the Marine Carousel at the local fair. Alright, there we go. Let's get our APOC down here. Oh wait, it's no type Lamau. Yup. Yup. When you realize it's no type. It's like, wait, why are ghosts bad again? Oh yeah, that's why. Get that mutation complete here. Also, my charge actually just pushes buildings out of the way, like the defensive structures. So I might just use that to my advantage if I can. Oh, he's gonna try and get rid of my Overseer. There we go, I got rid of his Vikings instead. And we're just gonna cleave that base there, there we go. I think my charge actually does a lot of damage. It does like 50 damage by itself. Oh my god. There we go. It'll eat those Marines alive, that's for sure. There we go. Actually, I probably shouldn't upgrade my armor for now. Let me get more APOCs, I think. I upgraded all those weapons there. It's kind of expensive. Let me go 900 something. Nova's gonna go down. I think Nova Soldier Ghost, I can't be sure. I don't see it anymore. Han and Horner with... Oh no, that ghost is still there. She was just invisible. Nice meme. Invisible to hide the shame. There we go. We got some Vikings coming in here. To maybe take out the detection, I guess. Sure. Vikings are also going to struggle because they're anti-armor, but there's no armored units anymore. So it's like, nice meme. I'm gonna get the overcharge here. Oh yeah, baby! Look at those Marines. Look at those Marines. They do. That's 50 damage per charge. Pal drive through them. Boom. Boom. We're just gonna run over those Marines like the roadkill. There we go. Boom. 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 I probably shouldn't have charged. Probably just kept attacking. Yeah, but those Marines got plowed under. Feels good, man. Feels good, man. Okay, let me get another one. Another APOC. Can I get another APOC in time? I can't get another APOC for this wave. I'm 100 minerals short. Probably just go for a gas then. Go for a gas after. Let's get that third APOC. There we go. APOC moment, boys. Oh my god. Did he just switch to tanks? Or was he saving money for like Hyperion? And then he was like, screw it, we gotta buy something. Probably the screw it, we gotta buy something. Well, the APOCs just dominated the sky, essentially. Boom. Don't call them APOCs for nothing. Oh my god, that's a Banshee? Say goodnight. Say goodnight. I just dominated 1.5 waves. Oh my god. That was actually more than 1.5 waves. I guess that was 2 waves. Damn. Feels good to be a large typeless unit. Like this week it's just like a big boy with large health pool that does decent damage. And has high base armor is gonna do very well. An APOC is all of those things. An APOC is all of those things. I love it. APOC's a little bit weak against air units if there's large amounts of them, but they will absolutely devour any ground units that exist. So that's that. Boom, 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 boom. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. There we go, just boom. Hello? APOC, you want to charge over there? Thank you very much. APOC, you want to charge over here, actually? And then just unleash that rocket barrage here. There we go. Come on. Get in there. Boom, boom. I don't know. I think maybe it only does 50 damage on the center of impact, because it seems to be doing a little less than it should be. Actually, no. Nova Marines are quite tanky. Never mind. They have quite a lot of health. So it makes sense why they are still alive. Do we need more APOCs? Should I get an Alexander, maybe? Oh, he's got a bunch of Marines. That's cute. I guess the Marines counter the Stalkers, though. I think they do. We might need an Alexander. Drop boss on 12 minutes. Sure. Sounds like a good idea to me. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. There we go. Burrow charge. Oh, a lot of enemies. Uh-oh. Sounds good. Going for Alex. That one stalker in the back, though. I think the tanks are kind of pulling out ahead. I think they still have their raid bosses as well, so this fight is a lot closer than it looks. And also me only having APOCs is limiting in the sense that the damage output of my opponents are increasing, but my damage output is not increasing. Let's see. Oh my god, I could go for a 4th gas. I shouldn't though. That's too greedy. There we go. Come on, boys. Just run over those Marines. Boom. Flatten them. Just flatten them. There we go. There we go. Flatten those tanks. Flatten these guys. Flatten these guys. Boom. Boom. Whoa. Man, I'm still pushing through really hard with just 3 APOCs. I just realized that. Like, those guys actually just kind of smashed through. I mean, I had some, like, residual fire support. You know, but still. Alright, boys. The flagship. The flagship has arrived, boys. The flagship has arrived. We got the crash landing. I don't think I want crash landing, actually. Do I want crash landing? It's like 350 minerals. I don't know. Just gonna drop it, I guess, some point in time. There we go, boys. Let's go. There we go. Let's get in there, boys. Okay, APOCs. Boom. APOCs have extra backup now. Thanks to the Alex there. Boom, boom. Can you boys charge into that pile of Marines and the... Oh my god, they're just gonna eat them alive. Boom. There we go. Charge in there. Get on that base, boys. Get on that base. Blow them to shreds. They got their raid bosses coming in, but I don't think it's nearly enough. Hunter Horner's wave is so fragile. He's only got 3 guys on the field, and Alex is controlling all those raids on the field. It's over, boys. It's over. We got so many raid bosses. They cannot survive this. Can they? Nah, they can't, right? No way. A big blink onto the Nexus here. We're done. We're done. Woo! Nice. Let's see. I don't think I did the most damage, I'll be honest. Because like I only have like 3 guys doing damage, so let's see. I did middle damage, so that's actually pretty good. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the tier list. Let's go. Okay, and we are back. Let's go. So, just a reminder: Brawl modifiers. We have Hallowed. Staging area provides various buffs. We have Equality. Units lose all status types, and RAIDBOSS. You just gain a charge of infested Thor every 4 minutes. So. Okay, so let's look at the overall strategy. I think the overall strategy this week is literally just high HP units with large armor values. I think that's literally it. So here's where I think things fall. So we have in the S tier, I think we have Vorzun, Hanan Horner, and Stukov. So Vorzun's actually here because Stalkers are actually ridiculously hard to deal with without bonus damage to armor. I think your best counter is still tanks. But besides that, it's very tough to deal with Stalker Stacker because the central aura gives cooldown reduction, so the Stalkers can blink and regenerate much faster. There are some counters, but they're usually very squishy, like for example Marines or Hydralisk. I think they have the ability to just power through Stalkers, but they don't last long, so it's not like a very long-term solution. Yeah, Stalkers are actually deceptively strong this week. Now, the other 2 commanders in the S tier, I think, can easily handle the Stalkers. Like, the Stalkers, I think, are just very good to have on your team. But Han and Horner with Sovereign BCs are actually they're actually so tough to deal with. Because Sovereign BCs have 900 HP base. They can go up to 1,350. And they basically one-shot everything. essentially, with their Yamato cannons. Their only weakness is large amounts of small units that just sort of like surround them. So you want to put them in the central aura and level up their armor first, if anything. And you probably want to slam down a lot of Hellbats on the ground so that they can get extra bonus max HP. And the Hellbats can sort of just swarm all the ground units on the ground and deal AoE to them. That's usually the only weakness they have. And because of the base value, like the high armor value of a Sovereign BC, if you put it in the center aura and at max armor, they have 7 armor. So realistically, they're only going to be taking like anywhere between 1 to 5 damage from most things this week, since there's no anti-armor. So what I'm saying is you're going to have a lot of fun. Next with Stukov, I think Apox and Alexander are going to be very strong. Apox maybe not as strong in comparison to Sovereign BCs, but they can still dominate quite hard due to their 10 base armor, I believe, if you put them in the central aura and have maxed armor value. 10 armor and 1,500 health. They are limited by the fact that they are not ranged, of course, but they do AoE cleaving attacks that do up to 100 damage. So that's pretty hard to say no to. And they also do 100 damage per like times 5 into air units. So most air units are going to get smashed, and they cannot get lifted up by Phoenixes because they are a type of Ultralisk, and all Ultralisk have that sort of special buff that prevents them from being CC'd. All in all, very good. Alexander, I think, is pretty strong as well because now he can CC more things, just take less damage in general, but he's not really like a damage powerhouse, but I think nonetheless still makes Stukov pretty strong. Commanders in the A tier. So Manx. Manx is here mostly because of his versatility. He has many options. You probably don't want to go for specialized rail guards. Don't buy a Sky Fury this week. They're actually just worse Vikings. You're probably looking at Ultralisk, which are actually very tanky. Mutalisk, your Zerglings, and probably just an assortment of either tanks or Black Hammers, because neither of those units really suffer too much from not having a special status type unit to attack. Black Hammers are great with their Bulwark field because they give everything around them +3 armor. And if you have 2 Black Hammers together in the central aura, I think that's 10 armor. Black Hammers also hit for around 80 damage times 2 per like attack rotation. So they do quite a bit of damage. They can also handle most air units. The only downside is Black Hammers can get picked up by Phoenixes, which, you know, Artanis is going to have lots of. And I think the only like good solution around that is probably just like lots of Zerglings and just small cannon fodder units that'll just sort of, the Phoenix will attempt to pick them up and then fail. But other than that, I think Manx can do pretty well. You can also spec into lots of boys. Probably you will need some, you might need Flame Boys just for the sake of the AoE attack that they have. But that's about it. I think Manx is going to do pretty well because of his versatility. Next we have Zagara here, actually. Very strange, but Zagara doesn't really care about types of damage. She just knows that explosion is good. And I don't think the strategy changes. If you're going to enter into a air battle, just a bunch of Scourge should wipe the field of all Mirages and or Phoenixes. And yeah, you just barrel through with explosives. I think it's a pretty straightforward way to play this week, and I think it's definitely not going to be bad. Next, we have Artanis. I think Artanis' Phoenix, I would say, is actually better than Karak's Phoenix for the sole purpose of the fact that if the only thing you're going to build are Phoenixes, then picking up 2 units per Phoenix is better than picking up 1 unit per Phoenix. They are less tanky, but you can put Guardian Shell on them, so it's like they kind of have that pseudo-tankiness. And if you really want to commit to the Mirage thing, I mean the Phoenix thing, you can do it better than Karak's can. That being said, it's really a big gimmick. They're really not that, they're not like, it's not, they're not going to end the game on their own. You'll probably need some sort of support through Reavers and or High Templar just to deal with a lot of small AoE units, because that's how you counter them. Or you'll run into stuff like Sovereign BCs, and then you'll be really sad, and then you can probably switch the Tempest, maybe. B tier commanders, I think they are, they're okay. They're okay. They're not horrendous. Although I think there's more commanders that are horrendous this week than there are commanders who are like very, very good. So, Karax. Karax can do the same Mirage trickery. I think actually ground Karax is very good this week. Like a pure ground Karax supported with some Mirages. Annihilators don't care with their Annihilation Blast, like what target they're hitting. They just do 200 damage. That's quite good. Although the Annihilation itself, like the auto attacks of the Annihilator, does not benefit from, like it loses the bonus damage. So that's probably not as good. But the Colossi don't care. They have never cared about status types. They just set the ground on fire and they do it really quickly. So I think a Colossus Zealot composition could actually be very good against most ground-based compositions you'll face up against. Granted, you're not against like an APOC or Sovereign BCs, because if you are against either of those, then I think you'll be very sad. I think the Colossi should be able to crush Stalkers, actually, because they set the ground on fire and they hit pretty fast if you put them in the attack speed aura, and Sentinels will not only not take bonus damage, they also come back twice. Well, they come back one more time, so they have 2 lives. So Ground Karax is actually, I think, not bad, but he will suffer from the classic Karax problem of, oh no, high armor enemy air unit. What do I do? Raynor, I think, is probably going to be a Death Fleet angle. Battle Cruisers could do well, but definitely not as good as Han and Horners. Yeah, I think that's about it. Like, Banshees could be okay. Vikings actually suffer because there are no armored units now, so Vikings do less damage. I would say probably like a Hyperion Battlecruiser sort of angle with the advanced targeting systems, which gives everything +2 attack damage. That might be the way for Raynor, I'll be honest. It's kind of unconventional. Raynor's boys, I don't think, are going to do that well because AoE will still eventually chunk them down, and they don't do more damage anymore, so they're actually just a lot weaker by comparison to what they used to be. So I think it's the Raynor Air. Nova, similar problem. Nova has very specialized units, like Ghosts are literally useless. Marauder Commanders are still good. Banshees are still good. Liberators probably are necessary because you'll be against Artanis and or Karax to a more obviously, like a more present degree. And also Goliaths are completely useless because there are no mechanical units, so you're just very sad. So overall, I think, I don't know, Nova could still do well. Kind of got the short end of the stick though. So there's that. Now we got the problem with Stetman. So I think Stetman only deserves the B this week because of his Mecha Corruptors and their very good ability to destroy Phoenix Dreams. Other than that, I don't really see Stetman doing that great. Like, Banelings could probably still do great. Mecha Ultras have like their most powerful ability disabled, which is like anti-mech, because there are no mechs. That being said, they still take a lot of reduced damage, so that's still good. Like, it still is not a bad unit to have, especially if you want a high HP tank unit, but compared to everything else that's available on the market, it's not as great. Stetman's anti-air is also nullified significantly. Hydras with their special air attack normally do 10 damage times 2, but now they just do 6 damage times 2, like as base stats. So they can do up to, I think, 9 damage times 2. That's not that great considering Sovereign BCs have 7 armor. You're going to have a bad time. So Stetman's mostly here just for his AoE. I think he still has a good deal of it, and it's not to be trifled with, I think. Now in the C tier, we have commanders who I think normally I would place a little higher. I mean, Alarak for sure, but Alarak cannot eat chicken nuggets this week, which is just a disaster. Alarak himself is going to get CC'd. Also a disaster. So basically, you probably don't want to build Alarak himself. So all you're really left with is like just straight Wrathwalkers, which, I mean, is, if they survive, it's pretty good. You probably could do well with Slayers, not as well as Morzun though, I think. But yeah, it's going to have to be like a Wrathwalker Slayer angle, I think, to do well with Alarak, and it's still going to be a huge struggle. You have to deal with Phoenixes as well, which are just going to pick up everything. I don't think Alarak really has a good answer to Phoenixes besides literally buying a Mothership. Motherships seem nice, actually, but that's about it. You have to save for it though, so you better hope your allies can hold on. If you do get to a Mothership, I think it's not over yet, because Motherships don't actually have too high armor. I think their base armor is only like goes up to 5, so you can get up to like 6 armor, I think, max. So it's not really that high. But they do quite a lot of damage, and they do have 2,000 health, so that does help them out. But I think that's probably your best bet. Dahaka gets picked up. Big sad. Everything else Dahaka has kind of hinges on the bonus damage output. Creeper hosts might be okay with the cooldown reduction, but you once again need an ally to help you out to be able to stall the game out where your creeper host will start being significant. Good thing is I think Dahaka can eat. I don't think Dahaka can eat more things? Question mark? No, not really. He can't eat any heroic units like special name units. Like he can't eat an enemy Dahaka, for example. So I think he doesn't really get a buff. He actually gets more of a nerf. He doesn't take as much damage though, but like if your Dahaka, who's supposed to be tanking for most of your units, gets picked up by a bunch of Phoenixes, and then your Ravistors walk into, I don't know, a bunch of siege tanks, then you're very sad. Also, your Ravistors don't do any damage anymore compared to what they used to. which is also not that great considering they were a huge source of DPS. So I think the Haka just got a pretty big nerf with the equality. I was actually debating on putting Kerrigan a little higher, but I don't know. It's a little interesting. Because I'm thinking Kerrigan Mutalisk has potential because they don't take bonus damage from stuff. But then again, they also take bonus damage from just being clumped up and stuff. So I think C is probably correct. Like, her Ultras are okay, but they're melee. They'll die quickly because they'll get focused down. Kerrigan herself will get CC'd. Kind of not that great. Hydralisk could do okay. Her Queen's totally useless. So I don't know. Her Mutalisk can definitely crush like Phoenixes and Mirages because of their bounce. But besides that, like, they don't really do too much. Like, once the Psystorm comes out, they're just really sad. So there's that. I was thinking of putting Swan up a little higher this week, but then I realized Swan can't use his Science Vessels to heal. He can use Defensive Matrix. And I also realized Swan Thors can be picked up now because they're no longer considered massive. Originally, I was like, oh yeah, Swan can counter Artanis and Karax. That'll be great. You know, we'll put him in the A tier. His tanks are still very strong. They still do 87 damage once you get the Maelstrom upgrades. But then I realized the horrible truth that the Phoenixes can just pick up all the Thors. Yes, the Thors have, like, I think up to 7 base armor, if you put in the Central Aura. But it's like, yeah, they're not attacking. I don't know. So I think Swan potentially could be okay, but I think not. Now in the D tier, we have commanders who I think are just, they're just oofed. Tychus is, I think, a very obvious oof. His units can now be CC'd. If you play Artanis, you can pick up every single Tychus unit that you see with your Phoenixes, and it'll feel really good. If you're Tychus, it'll feel really bad. I think Tychus is only out this week is just to play a bunch of Boswells. I think probably Boswells with the revive. I think that makes him really hard to kill. He does a lot of damage. He's bad against crowds though, so you'll probably need a Blaze to help him out. But I think that's probably the best out you got for Tychus this week. Yeah, I mean, Vega can steal stuff too, but like, Vega has always been able to do that, and Vega is Vega. She doesn't do much damage. Phoenix, I think, is actually just oof, like big oof more than everyone else, because his heroes used to have that, you know, special heroic tag and like all those special things that made them a little bit more immune to stuff, but now they can get jostled around and CC'd and stuff, so Phoenix is just gonna struggle a bit more. Also, his units do very specialized damage, and now there are no unit types, which is terrible. Maybe you could go for like Mass Colossus, and that could be a hilarious thing to see, but that's about it. That's about it. I don't even think he beats Phoenixes in a fight with his scouts. Like, I think his scouts just straight up lose. They might have the edge for having more health, but they certainly do not have the edge for having attack speed and damage, I think. Abathur, you'd think that everything not having anti-armor damage would be great for Abathur, but the problem is Abathur doesn't have damage bonus outputs, I think, like without the unit types. Like, his roaches get super ridiculously tanky, but once the AoE starts coming in, that doesn't really matter. Queens, I think Queens can actually heal, but they don't heal for that much. I think the Queens can heal. They might, or it might be Raynor medics that can heal for everything, and Queens might still need the tags. Abathur mutas don't do anti-armor, sad. I guess you could stall with lots of roaches, not roaches, the locusts. Brutalists are kind of bad. Leviathans are kind of bad. So really all you're left with is maybe a Viper. Vipers could do okay against large hordes of air units, but that's about it. Everything else is not that great. Ravagers could do okay, but that's about all you got. Ravagers just being Ravagers, they never took bonus damage from anything. But the cooldowns could be very good, like with the cooldown reduction and being in the Senate Aura, but it might just bring them down to pre-nerf status, which will just be balanced, I guess. Or pretty good, I guess. So maybe Abathur's out is Ravagers, but we'll have to see. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list right now. Yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.
The tires! Let's light some fires! Need a light. They picked the wrong fight.